G'day everybody, welcome to another Creator Cast. I am Jay from Jay Boston. We've got Danny from Where is Danny Black? We've got Scotty from YouTube, and we have Benon from Gives a Minute. How are we all, boys?
Very Excellent. Well, mate.
We all put our thumbs up. We're all good. I think we
all
did that.
Good. So today we're talking about Patreon. Patreon is, from what I understand, another way to make money online through people donating to you. So the one with the most experience on this is Mr. Benon. Is that right?
I've definitely had some experience. I wouldn't say I'm totally a guru on the situation, but I set one up when I hit 10,000 subscribers. And I quickly got 4 Patreons and then pretty much stayed on 4. I think I'm on 5 now. Maybe I'm back to 4 again. What I've found is you have to keep reminding people that it's there. Like if you just set it up.
What is a Patreon? Is that just someone that is also on the Patreon platform and they'll contribute money to you on a monthly basis? Or
yeah, sorry, I should have explained to those that don't understand what Patreon is. Patreon is an outside way for you to monetize your YouTube channel. So you could, and it hasn't got to just be YouTube, it can be anything, but in this instance we're talking about YouTube. So you could say, I've got a Patreon page that's associated with my YouTube channel, and for the people that come on and offer me a donation per month, they become your patrons, and you give them something in return. And in most cases, it's a tiered level of rewards. So you might give the cheapest monthly contributors might be $1 a month, and they're just doing that because they believe what you're doing is worthwhile, so they're happy to kick $1 in per month. But then you might say $5 a month. Well, then I'll send you out a bunch of stickers, and I'll also do something else or whatever it might be. And then you go up from there and up from there. And then the idea is that per month people kick in some coin to help you out. People use it, and people really bank off it. They use it to great success. Me, not so much, but I'm happy that it's there. I think that you need to offer people many different ways to help you, and Patreon's just one of them. I think there's other ways to do it as well, like direct donations through PayPal. Another similar site called Maker Support does a very similar thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's different ways to do it. Patreon's just one of them. What are you hoeing down there on, by the way?
Just a bit of apple pie. It's hot, so I've got to have it now. Yep. Sorry if it makes any noise.
You know what's funny, Jay? Right now, it looks like you have a fake background, like because there's a glare of green, like you have a green screen that's going on back there. That's like right there on the side of your head. Like no, when you're looking forward.
I'm sitting outside because we've got a crying baby on the inside, and
just nice backlight behind you there. Nice blue backlight. Sun going down in Melbourne town.
Yeah, it's setting. It's not too bad. Yeah. And what about you, Danny? Have you had any experience with Patreon?
I've only signed up. Like it was a while back. Sailing the Vagabond. I watched them for a little bit, and I was like, Patreon, what's that? And I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool that they do that. But I was never inclined to actually donate, and I feel like until I kind of sign up and donate to someone else, I'm not going to ask people for money doing it that way, because I'd like to feel motivated. Like if someone did something enough to where it's like, you know what, I watch a lot of their content, and like I'm almost on the fence with Philip DeFranco, because he does put a lot of work into it, but at the same time he does all right, so he doesn't necessarily need my money. But I just haven't found the right channel to like be a Patreon on, and so I haven't really asked. I think I know that in our Facebook group, if you look up facebook.com/groups/creatorcast, we asked that question, and Emma, my wife, how do you say it?
Still sounds weird, doesn't it?
She was the one asking because she thought, what a great platform to have hula hoop fitness programs and people pay per program versus like YouTube and having private accounts and doing this weird setup. Like maybe Patreon can be like the easy fix for all that. And same with me. I once thought maybe I should just do a full like work through of Final Cut Pro on how I edit my videos from the importing to the end, and people can sign up for like courses that way, like where it's through Patreon and you pay $10 per video, and that's how it works. I know that it does that. I just haven't really spent a lot of time watching it. I think that maybe that's a great way to do it. Do you guys think of a better way to do something like that? I don't know.
I think one of the key points you hit on there, Danny, which I've neglected to mention is that you don't have to have anything else. You can just have a Patreon, and you can do all of your business on Patreon. You don't have to have something else that it's tied to. So
So you could put all your videos on Patreon,
yeah, not just videos.
like
You could
you can
have,
upload directly.
yeah, yeah. You'd have to host them somewhere else, and then see, that's one thing that Patreon's a little bit sketchy with. I got to be honest. Working it with YouTube without using another plugin, a plugin called TubeBuddy, who I believe Jay's been spruiking to us a few times. I don't use TubeBuddy because I don't use Chrome. I just use Safari. But without using TubeBuddy, you can't set a video unlisted in YouTube and then have it go to Patreon 2 days ahead of time, and then say after 2 days I want it to go live on YouTube. You can't do that natively without using a plugin, which I think is YouTube dropping the ball big time there. But what I'm saying is you could also not use YouTube. You could host your video somewhere else, and you could have a Patreon set up and just focus only on creating a network in Patreon. That's a way to do it for sure.
That's
if you wanted to.
Scott, any Patreon experience?
Not personally. It's always been something that I've been kind of scared to use for some reason. It freaks me out, the thought about people giving me money rather than YouTube giving me money. I mean,
why's that?
Oh, mate, I don't know. I think I'm too small at the minute to really feel like I've earned it. Yeah, I mean, like there's bigger YouTubers that I've watched in the past. Who have a couple 100,000 subscribers who have Patreon, and you can actually go on Patreon.com and see how much money they're getting a month, and it can be like $3,000 or $4,000 a month through people.
So you're worried that you're just going to get $2 or $3 a month, and that's just gonna that's how I feel. Like if I set up a Patreon, and Ben owns the same way too. Like he's got 5. I don't know how much you get a month from that, but
I think I get about $30 a month. Let's have a quick look.
There's a weird like insecurity that goes with that. It's almost like having a YouTube channel that has like 10 subscribers, and you're like, I don't know, you know, like you don't want to tell people about it.
If that's open public, like public knowledge, I'd probably. Yeah, you'd probably want to wait till you're a bit bigger, and that's why I guess Ben waited to 10,000 subscribers to see if it was going to have some traction.
Yeah,
actually, for me, it was. Sorry, Scotty.
There you go, mate. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say it wasn't that for me. It was just that I liked my numbers and I like everything being around and nice and needed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at mine now. I've got 4 patrons at the moment, and I get $10 a month from those guys. And I got to say also on Patreon, when you have someone who becomes a patron, it's not so because it's all linked to their credit card and they get a monthly debit. They might have their credit card that expired, or it might have been declined or something. Patreon won't chase that up with them, so they'll sit there as a Patreon, but unless you go into your analytics and look at it, you won't even know that they haven't been contributing because their card's invalid. So I've actually got, it says I've got 4 patrons there, but I know I've got 5 because one of them, the card's no longer working, but it still sits there. So there's a few little bugs internally, but it is what it is. And like Scotty just said, you can earn. I mean, the big creators are earning a lot of coin off it, and good on them.
Yeah. Well,
I wish they would.
Yeah. Sorry. One of them that I was watching, for years, he was a daily vlogger. Did like 5,000 something days, I think, of like 7 years of, I don't even know how long it was, of daily vlogs. Got like right down to his last day. He basically traveled around the United States in a van, and he got people to donate through Patreon so he could put money into the van. And it got up to $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and then he decided he didn't want to live in the van anymore, so he moved into an apartment in Hollywood, and everyone who was giving to his Patreon stopped giving to it, basically to the fact that he wasn't doing what he said he was going to do anymore,
Right.
And he got this huge backlash from it, so he actually ended up shutting it down. That's really, I mean, other than that, going back to having like Patreon only things, I actually listened to a podcast, 2 guys who actually go through every Blink-182 song and talk about it for about an hour or 2. It's called Blink 155. They have a Patreon account, and they do exclusive podcasts just for their Patreon subscribers, which I think is pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my only experience with it. Other than that, I know dick all about it.
That's an
Yeah, I'm the
Australian term
same.
for he doesn't know much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For our international
I'm the
viewers.
same. I know Dick all about it too. And that's why I guess it's one of my topics. It's I have no idea what Patreon is or how it works. I'm just on the website at the moment.
Me too.
It seems like they've got a pretty good payment structure too. It's only 5% that they take plus 5% of transactions, and the rest is yours. Is that correct, Benon? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some amount they skim off the top. I can't recall exactly what it was. I know they copped a lot of flack recently when they changed that amount. They wanted to sort of
And they flipped it back.
Yeah. There was an email that came out saying we're going to change it to this and this and this, and then the whole community just went, "That's ridiculous.
Nuts.
What are you doing that for? You're going to hurt our supporters more than anything." And Patreon, did the right thing and said, "Yep, we messed that up. We won't do it, and we'll go back to how it was." So, I think they're a legit enterprise out there, and if you can use them, go for it. I mean, that's what I was saying before. The more opportunities that you give your viewers to help you, the better. So I've got Patreon, I've got Maker Support. I'm about to do direct donations through PayPal so that people that don't want to have to go on to Patreon can just go to the PayPal and
That's a good idea.
give you $5 randomly. Here's
Is
$5.
it weird that Patreon? So the Patreon is Patreon, but then it's like be a patron and it's like Patron. Like I wish that they would just be Paytron. Patron.
I'm sure that many heads sort of sat down in a meeting and decided on that one. But yeah.
By the way, I'm looking at Sailing the Vagabond because it was a while back when I signed up for Patreon. They were getting like maybe $2,000 per episode. Now they're up to almost $10,000 an episode, and they post about every week.
Yeah.
That's
So they're just
crazy.
sailing and getting paid for
I
it.
actually unsubscribed from them today because they're not interesting to watch anymore. Like and that's the thing is I think when you see people that are like struggling and you want to support them, that's what Patreon's for. But when you see them doing really well and it's like boring, like they came from this boat that was like breaking down all the time to this $1 million yacht that they can sail around. Now everyone's kind of like, I don't, this is not like what we signed up for. Like that's how I feel. I'm disconnected from them like I was before, and so
I can understand that.
Yeah.
It should also be noted that Patreon really came into its own probably about I'm going to say a little over a year and a bit ago when the adpocalypse first sort of hit with the PewDiePie racist comment that he made, and then the demonetization started on YouTube, and then a lot of people were sort of realizing, well, hey, I've been slapped with demonetization. I can't earn the coin that I was earning before. So then you got to start looking outside of YouTube, and that's where Patreon sort of went, well, here's an opportunity to not worry about having your videos flagged. Just make the videos and get your money elsewhere. So that's why Patreon became pretty important and pretty big. I hope personally that it flips the other way and suddenly you can start earning good money back on YouTube again, because I want to focus all of my attention on YouTube. Having said that, there are other platforms which we're going to discuss in a future episode, but for the time being, I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Like I just want to say that I said that the channel is called The Daily Woo. Did 7,000. I don't know where that number came from. It was 2,000 straight days of daily vlogs. I just wanted to clear that one up.
That's still damn impressive. 2,000 days. What's that?
Yeah. He did.
That's like 4 years.
Yeah, I think from 2012 till about midway through, a little bit through last year. So yeah.
Didn't miss a day.
Didn't miss a day for almost 2,000 days.
In America,
wow.
in traveling around the States.
Yeah. So always early stuff. I'm like, his first probably 3 years is all traveling, and then he stopped and lived in Southern California for a bit. Then he went back on the road, and then he stopped back in Hollywood, and he's still there now. He has 2 channels. One's called Adam the Woo, the one's called the Daily Woo. Adam the Woo is a big reason why I actually started making YouTube videos. Jay, he does abandoned stuff, so
have to check it out.
Yeah.
What about you boys?
Cool.
I've got a Patreon. What about, like, let's say, look down the track, say 6 months, 10 months? Would any of you 3 lovely chaps have Patreon going for your channels?
I'm thinking about it. I feel like I'm spending a lot of my free time editing videos when I don't need to be doing that, and I feel like there needs to be like people need to show some support. But then I've talked about creating CDs to sell and T-shirts on Spreadshirt or something like that. More so towards the music part of it because you definitely make a better profit on it. That seems like a better way to do it. But then at the same time, I'm trying to edit. I don't have time to make music, and it's just like a weird battle that I'm having. So Patreon, it's a cool website. Like the website's really cool, and it makes me want to like get more into it and know more about it. And I'm sure that people that are watching right now, there's some people that might know a little bit more, and maybe they can write in the comments and or go on our Facebook group and tell us more about what the best options are for those things we talked about earlier, or what fits our needs. So
Yeah.
do it.
Look, for myself, it would be something that I'd really have to think about. Right now, I'm going to say no. Probably at some point until I hit another subscriber milestone. I've only just hit over 1,000. I don't even know what I'm on now. 1,200 about. It would probably have to be a pretty large milestone. Yeah, look, to be honest, I've actually made like $90 off Spreadshirt in the last like 3 weeks. I think I'm just going to keep going with that for now, and I haven't really pushed it at all. Yeah.
And his dad will buy your shirt, so
he will.
If you're selling a shirt out there on your YouTube channel, make sure Scott's dad knows about it.
Shout out to Dad, who's definitely watching right now.
By the way,
Thanks, Bob Muir.
I hit 2,500 today.
Nice.
Fantastic.
I was
well
pretty
done.
excited about that. That's a tough one. I don't know why. We're not all Ben-ons that just flip from 1,000 to
2,500. Let's have we discussed this before on Creatorcast? Say count upward from 600.
Like you want me to go 601, 602, 603?
No, sorry. I should have said in the 100 divisions. 600, 700.
600, 700, 800, 900. Oh, 1,000.
See? Americans will go 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,100, 1,200, but they won't say 1,000. They'll say $1,000, but they'll say. Wait,
you say 1,000? Australians say 1,000?
No, sorry, it's not an American thing. It's just a general.
Oh, you
thing.
you just don't like that? Yeah, you with numbers and things that have to be straightforward.
I love numbers. I'm absolutely rat shit at maths, but I love numbers and I love things being even. And I don't understand why it's not 1,000 if it's 900.
That'd be like the best band name ever. Is 1,000.
I thought you meant rat shit.
1,000 rat shits.
I thought rat shit sounds like a pretty cool punk rock band.
Are you saying rat shit or rad shit?
Rat shit.
I was saying rat. R-A-T.
Rat shit.
We got dick all and we got rat shit.
By the way, Ben, you were on Hey We're Talking, and I thought that was funny that they went over the Aussie slang stuff. I think that on a future video when I go on these other cruise ships, I'm going to go to all the Australians I can, and I have this Aussie slang app, and it's really fun. So like bend the elbow, okay? What does that mean?
Bend the elbow.
Drinking.
So I hit the button to have a drink. Yeah. So like I have all these like different Fruit Loop.
It's crazy.
Fruit Loop, loony, crazy, nuts.
A fool. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, same kind of thing. So I think that I thought that was just funny to watch him. They were all asking him all these different things on Hey We're Talking, and that was really funny. So I'll do that on a future video.
Those guys, such a lovely bunch of dudes, and we've got, like I said it on the thing, but we got you to thank, Danny, for bringing Creatorcast and all of our individuals to these three lovely guys from America. Thanks, man.
Yeah, we'll be the power channel of the future. In 2020, we're gonna be like, there's gonna
cluster.
Be in 2 years. They're gonna make Skype where you have 8 boxes and you can all
absolutely
we can all.
Sorry, getting back to Jay, we didn't hear you, Jay. Were you gonna hit a Patreon at some point?
I've been sitting here so quietly and patiently.
And
no,
you're the host
wouldn't.
of this episode too.
Yeah. No, like, to sum it up, no. I probably wouldn't, just because I've heard how long it takes to set up and that you have to promote it as something else. Probably not. I don't think I would. But you never say no.
But okay,
But anyway,
some of these videos you see at the bottom, it says like videos made possible by Patreon, and that doesn't like I see that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It doesn't like make me think they're pushing it too hard, but I can see that's the only way that they can make all these videos and stuff. So I don't know, like, would that be weird to have under your videos? Or
No, I don't think so. I really haven't thought as what I do for YouTube as something that I'm making money from. It's more of a hobby. It's more of an interest. And yeah, if I do make some money from it, great. I do have monetization on in YouTube, but I know right now in the amount of the viewers that I get, the subscribers that I've got, I'm not going to be making anything decent. So until that happens, I think I'm not going to really worry about it too much for now. Because yeah, if it is $10 a month, you can probably buy a Happy Meal for it. You know, like it's nothing really that I'm going to focus my attention on. Like if it's hours and hours of time that it's going to take me to check my account and mention that and create an outro and all that kind of stuff just for $10 a month, I probably would wait until I think it's going to be more fruitful. I think.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Also, Jay, with your content, I mean, you're better off trying to get like a brand deal with an electric skateboard company or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Like I've got, it's hard to see, but there's another electric skateboard that arrived today just behind me there. And they just come all the time, which is a great thing. They let me review them. Sometimes I get to keep them. Sometimes I haven't actually sold any skateboard yet at all. Sometimes I give them away, and that's how I get the subscribers up or viewers up. So there are other ways.
Wait, so how do they send them to you? Like, what's the did they like?
Oh, they get in touch with us like private message on Facebook Messenger, or they'll send us an email because that's on my about link in YouTube. And they're like, hey, we want you to review our boards. And you're like, yeah, cool, just send it to this address. And then a couple of weeks later...
Wait, when you're saying us, do you mean like Jay Boston, like YouTube?
Yeah, they send it to us. Yeah, like me, as in just me.
I was like, do you have a team of people?
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes they rock up, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they come a lot later, and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember that one from like a month ago. So I'm outside, and all these moths are everywhere.
You had a saw over your shoulder. That was freaky.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And your green screen.
Yeah, I'm getting bitten alive out here. But yeah, that's how I guess, like, yeah, some people will say, look, don't worry about seeing it back, give it away. And you're like, cool. So you'll do awesome. That, or you might, I haven't had to sell anything, but now I've got 10 grand worth of boards. So,
Jeez.
That kind of helps, if I ever get into a rut or whatever, then that's sitting in my there. Yeah, like there's 6 boards I think I have now, and I paid for a quarter of one. Wow. So that kind of helps that way. Yeah.
Mm. Cool.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, it's been 22 minutes. I better end this. Thanks very much for talking about Patreon, everybody. And if you've got any comments from anyone, put them down below. We will answer them. If you have a Patreon account, tell us about it. But anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you later, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.
Hit that subscribe button.
Bye.
Yeah.